guys, and welcome to another video. So today I thought I'd just quickly have a little sort of review and go over everything that's happened in this transfer window. Then at the end I'll give it a rating from, A, B, C, D, E, whatever, and so on. So firstly, of course, we need to go over what happened on transfer deadline day, and it was all about outgoings. So firstly, we saw Danny Graham leave the club after mutually agreeing with the club to rip up his contract and leave. Now, is that the right decision for me? Absolutely, 100%. I was definitely very concerned and I questioned why we brought him back in the first place. Of course, there's arguments, it was many years ago his first stint, it was in a completely different league. Everyone's saying, well, not everyone, but quite a lot of people argued, in League One, he'll tear it up, he'll score goals. And he was pretty appalling every time we saw him, if we're going to be completely honest, There was at times where I actually quite liked the look at him, or look of him, should I say, in terms of his hold-up play, but he was never going to score goals, and I think he ended up just being a waste of a name on the team sheet. I know it sounds horrible, but it is honest, in my opinion anyway. So that, for me, it was a sign of intent that we really are moving, and we're getting rid of the sort of deadwood that we really don't need. And I think there was a handful of players within the squad that we all kind of make excuses for at times and think, oh yeah, we might be able to get something out of him here, or maybe if we put him in this position, when in reality, if we just take a step back and look at it, he just shouldn't be at the club in the first place, i.e. Danny Graham. So next we do have a little bit of, I think, more controversial transfer business, and that is Elliot Embleton. So late on last night, Elliot Embleton signed a new deal at the club, adding an extra year to his deal, and then immediately was sent out on loan to Blackpool. Now, for me, personally, I know that Elliot Embleton, he splits fans. I actually spoke about it on Instagram, where I posted about it, saying that, I'm not a fan of this move. And then immediately I got backlash. 50% agreed, and 50% were telling me that I'm an idiot and that Elliot Embleton's useless and he's shit and he's overrated. Don't know why he's so overhyped, which I think is highly unfair in itself. For me, Elliot Embleton, I've been a fan of. Again, it's all personal opinion, but I've been a fan of since, he was a standout player for the England youth sides for quite some time, and that was only a handful of years ago. So he does have something about him. Just to say straight up shit to fit your narrative is a little bit unfair. But, and even through our youth squads, he's always looked very good. So I thought this year might be the year that it comes to him. It comes off for him. But he's never been given a chance over, 2 or 3 games on the bounce. And I do truly believe that if he's shown that bit of trust, and he's never had that under any manager for different reasons. Granted, he's had his own injury problems, and I know that, I'm aware of that. But he's never had any trust shown in him for more than 2 or 3 games maximum. And I've seen people, say, oh yeah, but this year, what's he done? I honestly don't think he's been terrible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blind. I don't think he's been amazing. I don't. There has been spits and spurts in games where he actually has been very good. I mean, I think when he comes on for last 10 minutes of games, it's unfair to expect some magic from him. It is unfair. I think last time he came on as a sub, Lee Johnson stuck him at left back, where he got absolutely tortured. So to try and shoehorn him in a position that's nowhere near where he should be, when he's supposed to be at the other end of the pitch, that's highly unfair as well. So for me, I was disappointed to see him leave, but I hope, Blackpool look after him. They've got a whole new squad this year, and Blackpool have been struggling, but they're turning it around slowly but surely. They're turning their ship around, and they seem to be creating a bit more of a positive attacking side there at Blackpool. Hopefully Embleton can be a part of that. Link up with Robson as well, who of course from Sunderland as well. Hopefully he can play well for them, come back next year, and I think that'll be that's our sort of safety net, because I don't know how many years his contract he had left. I think it may have been the end of this season, Embleton. So to add that extra season, if he does really well at Blackpool, but we end up going up, for example, we might not need Embleton, so we might be able to sell him off for a bit of money. Or if we don't go up, which of course I hope we do go up, but if we don't, then we've got a player who's played very, very well for Blackpool for the last few months, and he can come straight into our side, which is what ideally I want. Of course, I don't want to stay down and not go up, but I would have preferred to see Embleton within our side, and that was my point. But yes, that was relatively disappointing, considering that we have such a lack of creativity already throughout the squad. So to take one away, he's 2-footed, and generally I don't really like Embo. So it was disappointing to see that, because, like I say, lack of creativity. So we get rid of one of our younger creative players for the rest of the season. But moving on, of course, it was the big one, last second of the transfer deadline day, and Will Grigg finalised his loan move to MK Dons, who actually played tonight as I'm recording this video in the Papa John Stuffed Crust Trophy. But yeah, I've already done a whole video on that. He needed to leave. Hopefully he does well for them, gets a bit of a price tag to his name, and then we can sell him off. I've seen other people say I hope he does well and then comes back, starts scoring for us. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I don't think his heart's ever been here in the North East. I don't think that's going to happen personally. So I think this is purely about getting a little bit of his wages off the books, and hopefully it puts a price tag on his name, and we can at least make some money back that we did pay for him. But on the whole, so those are the three big outgoings that happened on transfer deadline day. Now, a lot of people were expecting more incomings on transfer deadline day. I personally didn't expect anything. It was probably the first transfer deadline day in a while where I was actually very calm and collected. I weren't really bothered whether we got any incomings or not, because I believe that we've brought in some players that do fit the bill of what we need. So I was quite happy that we did focus on players outgoing for a change rather than us scrapping for free agents here and there. So in terms of our incomings, of course, we have Winchester. I feel like the jury's still out on him a little bit for me. We've only seen him once or twice, 3 times. How many other times it's been? We've barely seen him, is what I'm saying. In the centre of midfield, he looks like an athlete, a big lad, gets stuck in. But I think we need a bit more from him in that sense, because right now, usually you can see what a player's about, and I really can't with him as of right now. He hasn't necessarily put too much of a foot wrong or anything, but I really couldn't see what he added to performances or to the team when we have seen him on the pitch. It was just sort of pass it to the nearest man who's open and free, and then just kind of run around and be a bit busy. There wasn't too much to him, do you know what I mean? And I feel like we've already got players similar to that, but again, we'll wait and see. Hopefully he grows in confidence and he shows us what he's all about. Then we have Vokins, the Southampton left back. He's coming on loan. He's going to be a hell of a lot better than McFadzean. I always get that wrong. McFadzean. He's going to be a hell of a lot better than him. Of course, I'm waiting for Hume as well to come back from his long-term injury, but his experience at Premier League level, he had a good couple of games there, and he's been doing very well and highly thought of across the Premier League. I think a lot of teams did actually want him on loan. So I think that's a very good signing. It's a place that we needed cover, and someone who to take over McFadzean, who again is, for me, I think he's an appalling defender. Going forward, I think he can do somewhat of a job, but defensively, he's utter garbage, is McFadzean. So I think that's a very, very good signing. Now, Jordan Jones, for me, is the big one. He's the biggest coup of this transfer window. Only a few days ago, of course, it was confirmed the loan from Rangers. Yes, he's been questioned about his attitude and little things he's done off the pitch. But if he can get his head down and he's managed correctly, I believe he can be an absolutely immense signing for the back end of the season. And you never know, if we end up going up, maybe we could sign him. And if he does, obviously that's me jumping the gun a little bit there, but maybe we could sign him. But it's just someone who I've been a fan of for the last couple of years now. I've said it the other day, I made a video a couple of years ago where he was the sort of main vocal point of the video. And I really wanted to sign him then, but unfortunately he went to Rangers instead. But he's rapid, he's tricky, his delivery is fantastic, he's second to none. And I couldn't believe we actually managed to get him. Of course, he was out in the cold at Rangers for different reasons. So, like I say, I think players deserve another chance. Maybe Rangers fans or other fans of clubs he's previously been at might think it's one chance too many, but he hasn't done us wrong yet. So, hopefully, he can come in firing and gets game time this evening as well. Then, of course, we have the big striker from Ross County, Ross Stewart. Again, he's a bit more of an unknown entity for me, but big lad, 6'4", apparently has a little bit of pace. I think that's what we needed up top as well. So we've got a little bit of pace there, and obviously the creativity of Jones. We've got the big lad up top, Stewart. We've got left back covered now as well. Winchester, hopefully he can show me a bit more, of course, what he's about. But in general, I think I'm going to give this transfer window a B, because I think we've actually addressed most areas. I think it would have been an A if there was maybe a bit more of a bit more experience in the middle rather than Winchester. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not writing off Winchester. I want to say experience, I mean just someone who, or a bit more of of a name that we could trust in the middle to do a job, at least in this league. But of course, with Winchester being a bit more of an unknown entity, I can't decide how good he is or he's not yet. So I'll give a B in general. But other than that, I think we're very good. And outgoings, I think we're bob on. Slight question marks over Embleton, of course, but in general, I'm going to give it a B. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, how do you feel about the transfer window? What would you rate it as well? But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sassy Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.